Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Chris and Tammy here. We're actually excited to share with you this amazing training. We call it amazing because we really believe in the power of leadership and the power that leadership, the influence that leadership will have into your life and to your business. So, Tammy, are you excited about this morning's training?
I'm super excited and I just love our t-shirts, Chris. You guys look at this. It's time to brand. Time to brand. Look at that.
You,
We
you
did
know, it's so funny.
we did a
This
trade show
morning,
on the weekend last
yes,
weekend.
yesterday we went on our date night, and there was a few people, and I kind of forgot what's behind her shirt, and this girl was staring at my wife, and I'm realizing, oh, she was reading what's in her back. It's very
You
eye
should have
catchy,
talked
right?
to her.
It's really cool. So again, we always kind of create an environment. We adjust our ecosystem to make sure that people know what we do and what we're all about. So, listen, folks, we want to start recognizing all of you that are here. Let's see here. We have Lou. Lou, again, very first message this morning. Welcome. Great to have you here from North Carolina. And let's see here. We have Old Blind Sony. Welcome. We have Frilera from, I know you're from, I keep forgetting the country, French country. I know you're going to post it. I'll come back to you. I just have, I don't know what it is. I have a blank this morning. Let's see here. We have
I think
Guylaine from
Laura's in
Quebec.
Ghana, Chris.
No, she was in Côte d'Ivoire, but I know she moved. Okay, so Johnny from Ghana, welcome. Let's see here. Horacio, welcome. Great to have you with us here. Captain Kafui, welcome. Great to have you here. Dr. Ricky from Tyler, Texas. This is awesome. Great to have you here. Let's see here. We have Shamrock. Welcome. Great to have you here. We have Anne from Kingston, Ontario. Welcome, Anne. Great to have you here with us. We have Mark Stevens from Bulls Audio USA. We have Christina from Ghana. We have Steve Anderson from Pennsylvania. Great to have you here. But actually from Brooklyn, New York. Sorry. Great to have you here. We have Tia. Let's see here. We have Augustine. Welcome. We have Everton from Jamaica. Really awesome. I hope you guys are okay with the tornado that went on there. Hope everything is okay with you guys. Let's see here. Lupe, welcome, welcome, welcome. Everton, great to have you here. Belgium, that's where I feel like.
Belgium,
Thank you.
that's
I'm so
right.
sorry.
That's
I
right.
got paper memory here this morning.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. We have Key to Financial Redness from Tampa, Florida, which is actually neighbor to us. Great to have you here. Let's see. Let's see. We have Sherry from Toronto. So we're
Toronto.
neighbors. Welcome. We have Everton, and I think we mentioned that already. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so this morning, the session that we want to talk about is a follow up from a few weeks ago, and we did a training, and we call it the 101 Success Training, and it was really the first week of what we call the foundation of success. We talked about understanding success. We talked about setting clear goals. We talked about time management and productivity. And what I will do is once this call is over, I will put a reference in the comment section so you can go back to that training and listen to it because they're very, very important because they all follow each other. Today, it is the week 2 of Success Formula 101 training program, which is leadership and influence. Before we begin, Tammy, do you have anything you want to add to all this?
Yeah, I highly recommend to go back to the week 1. Even if you were on the live session, go back. There's always activities and exercises to work on to improve our skills, and it's repetitive, right? You gotta constantly work on those to develop those habits so that you can easily go through your day having the success that you desire. So, and keeping those appointments on track and setting up those goals. So today, I'm super excited about today, Chris. And one of the reasons why is the first part of the leadership training. Chris and I spent a year with John C. Maxwell with a group of leaders that had to qualify with income levels. They did a qualification on that. And so we were in a room with several leaders from different industries, including network marketing. And we were part of the audience for the course that John C. Maxwell created called The 5 Levels of Leadership. and we've got his audiobook. We've got all of all of his stuff, and so we've been following John C. Maxwell for many many years, and there's no one better to share what it is to become a leader. So Chris and I have always followed that. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to hear comes from his leadership training, but also the experience of developing leaders, obviously developing within first, and then developing leaders around us through the network marketing industry.
I totally agree here. And the thing, folks, is leadership is really the foundation of everything in life. And this morning, as I was walking, Dr. KOA actually shared an audio on Spotify yesterday on our Telegram group. Well, anyway, I picked it up from the Telegram group and I started listening to it as I was walking. And it's just so motivation. It's so motivational. It's so contagious. And I just want to bring up 2 points that I completely agree with. In fact, Tammy and I were talking this morning about my early beginnings and how everything started. And I always mentioned I always had a very strong mind. And as a matter of fact, one of the things they say, if you have a strong mind, you will have a strong life. You will have a great life. If you have a weak mind, then your life may reflect that. So the point here that's important, folks, is in our business, many of you will make a decision. But often what happens if you don't have that strong foundational mindset, the moment someone else comes in and has a stronger mindset than you that says, oh, this is not going to work, do this instead. And then you become a leaf in the wind and you're constantly moved around by others' opinion opposed to yours. So this is the meaning where a strong mind will give you a strong life and a weak mind. Yeah. Exactly. So this is very, very important. You keep that in mind as we are sharing here today. The other thing that I want to share, and this is so critical, because if you are willing to learn, right, there is nothing that will stop you. Nothing that will stop you to succeed in your life in any way, in any shape you want. But if you're not willing to learn, folks, we just can't help you. And this is something that you need to understand. And unfortunately, this can come in with the people we care the most about, our own children. You know, there's so much that we've acquired over the years, over a lifetime, that we're trying to transcend. But often the children wants nothing to do with it because they want to do it their own way. And that's fine. And maybe they'll find their own way, and that's awesome. But my point, folks, here is if someone has gone through the path that you're trying to achieve, that you're walking through, and they've had success, I recommend to at least attempt to follow or apply some of the principles that are applied here, that are shared, because they may save you an enormous amount of years and headaches that you're going to have to go through to learning curve. And the last point I want to bring up here is embrace the challenges in your life, because challenges are gifts. I know it may not be nice to or comfortable to hear this, because some of us are facing some major challenges. It could be economic, it could be a relationship, it could be whatever that is for you, it could be your health. Embrace those challenges, because those challenges are designed to build you up to someone a lot bigger and a lot stronger. And with all these challenges, you wouldn't bother evolving in these areas. Do you understand? And that's one of the things you talk about. Don't get upset and don't fear challenges. Endorse the challenges for you to evolve. Really, really important. So today's objective really is to develop the essential leadership skills to enhance your ability to communicate, influence, and lead your team effectively. You know, some of us are reaching triple diamond, double diamond, diamonds, rubies, and so forth. What this is all coming from this concept that we're telling you here is to develop the ability to communicate to your team. Just to sign people up is not good enough. People need to, they need an environment where they can evolve, they can learn, and they can also get that reinforced energy to be able to move forward. So what we want to do here, Tammy talked about John C. Maxwell, the 5 levels of leadership. And here's are the fundamentals. That's a segment 1. There's 3 segments we're covering today. Segment 1 is the leadership fundamentals. And we're extracting this from the book, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. I'm going to post that right now into the comments.
I did.
Oh, you did, Tommy? Okay, great. So when you, what's
Teamwork.
important here is that, yeah, if you go to, for example, Amazon Prime with the books, or Apple Books, or iBook, whatever they call it, right? Do a search for these audiobooks, or the digital version of it, or the hard copy if you prefer. I stopped buying hard copies now because we used to travel a lot, and it's getting kind of heavy, bring all these heavy books. So everything is digital, and I just love carrying everything in my pad. And this is where all my thousands of books are located, right? So number one, so we're gonna cover 5 levels of leadership. Number one is what we call position leader. People follow you because they have to, right? So the key concept again is people have to follow you because it's the job. So the characteristic is leadership is based on the job title position. So again, it's influence and limited to the scope of the authority that that position gives you. People will do what you do, what you ask them to do, because they have to, because they want to keep their own jobs. But folks, there's a big difference as we move up in leadership, and pay attention to some of the characteristic as we move up the levels, right? See, leaders are often struggle to get most of their team to do things because they talk in a way of authority, not from the respect that they've earned over time that we'll cover in a minute, but from the position that you are. So if you happen to be a diamond leader, or a double diamond leader, or a ruby, nobody cares. I mean, think about it. What is that going to do for them? So the fact is, you have to earn the respect from your peers, from your team, not from your position. If you keep doing that, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. In fact, people may even resent you for it. So we'll carry on, and the main focus here is to pay attentive to the different position leaders. So position level 1, again, it applies to the job environment, and there's nothing wrong with this, because maybe you've worked hard to get that position in your job. But when you're in a network marketing environment, I truly believe the leadership starts from level 2. So back to you, Tammy.
Okay, so I'm just posting the levels in the group. So the second level is permission leadership. And this position, oh, wait a second, I didn't send it. Okay, got it. Okay, so a permission leader is when people follow you because they want to, because you're leading by example. That's the thing, and you're supporting the team members. It's all based on relationships. And isn't our industry really based on relationships, helping people? That's what I love about the network marketing profession, is the relationships that we've built, the friendships that we've built, watching people get married, have children, like we're so embedded into each other's lives in such a positive way. That's why I love this level, because it's all about serving, right? And leaders invest time into getting to know their teams. That's when you know you've got a great leader. They have mutual trust and respect, and that is absolutely critical in our profession, in any profession. And the work environment is always positive and collaborative. There's always something to help somebody move forward, and that is, people follow people who are leading that way. And the focus is on communication and listening skills. And this is absolutely critical in our profession. Those who are great listeners and can help people overcome a lot of stuff that they're going to face when they're new in the industry, growing into that leadership platform. So the key is to focus on what it takes to become that permission leader. You have that. You've got your followers for life, but you want to help develop those people into leaders.
I totally agree. So the third one that we want to cover here, I'm posting it here for your convenience, is level 3. Leadership level 3, it's production, right? People follow you because of what you have done for them, the organization, right? So here's some of the characteristics. And again, folks, what we're doing is we're summarizing. Don't think that just by listening to this call, you're done. I really recommend you do your homework. Go buy the book. I know this was a reference. Can you give the free soft copy here? Listen, guys, I really respect authors. People have spent years and years and dedication to create a book for everybody to read. They deserve to get paid. If there's a soft version out there, I'm not aware of it. I'm sure there are, but I recommend folks, to spend $10 or $9 or $7 for a book that can completely change your life. It's worth this. It's worth the money. So anyway, so my point in saying here, it's all, again, it's part of leadership. It's respect, right? So the fact here is, the key concept here is, people want to follow you because of what you have done for the organization, as I stated. So the characteristic of that is, leadership is based on results. You see, as you bring the results, your peers will look at that and will start admiring the results that you bring to the table. And what's happening is, the people that are following your footsteps they want to do what you do. That's the reason when you reach a certain pin rank, right? It is important for the company to promote that, because this is a tool that we use to share with the team what it is that you have accomplished. It's absolutely critical. It's part of the process. It's as important as money. But the fact, again, as I said earlier, is be careful, like level 1, to use that as an excuse. Well, you should follow me because that's my level. That is not the right way to approach this. Lead by example, by doing it yourself, right? Leaders and their team produce high quality work. So what you'll find, that those kind of leaders at that level 3, they tend to produce leaders that also are going to be reaching the higher levels, the higher pin ranks, because they duplicate their efforts. They transcend the information so they can also have the results. This is all part of the respect that others will give you, right? So let me just bring this up for this one over here I was talking about. Yeah. So see, there is a culture of accountability, of high performance. And people want to follow leaders that are performing and their teams are performing. So you want to become that black diamond. Well, you definitely want to reach the level 3. Absolutely critical, excuse me. Right. So the members get motivated by their leader's achievement, right? The focus is productivity and results. That's leadership level 3. But you can't be leadership level 3 without leadership level 2 to earn the respect. You could be a great producer, but you may not be all that conscious of what others need. So you're skipping level 2. So you're not level 3. You understand? So this is cumulative. You can't be level 3 if you're not level 2 and level 1. And this is one of the things that John C. Maxwell talks about in his book. So back to you, Tammy.
Absolutely. So I'm just putting the 4 out there so everybody can copy that, but I highly recommend to invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, when you put money out and investing in your personal growth, you take it a whole lot more serious than things that are just handed to you. And this is a perfect example. Level 4, people development. People follow because of what they have done for them personally. And I'm not talking about feeding people for the day. I'm talking about teaching people how to fish. And often in this industry, so many people have expectations of their sponsors or their leaders to do things for them. No, your leader is there to guide and teach and to help develop some of the skills and the characteristics that are needed. And they're your mentor, they're your coach, they're the ones that are empowering the team. And these are great leaders, by the way, great leaders. And these are the leaders that you're seeing that are growing in the higher ranks. That's them, because they can't get to the levels that they want to get to unless they help grow people, unless they help people get to that first level Okay. And that's just being there for them, showing them where they can get the scripts or whatever it is that they're looking for, showing them their back office, walking them through the system. You don't just sign people up in this business and just say, go get them, Tiger, go watch the videos. It's not the way it works. It's about developing people. It's about being there. Not everybody has the discipline or the uh, a passion or the vision. Not everybody has that at the beginning. I didn't. It was development over time. I was always a very driven person for sure, and I like to achieve things. So I would put efforts into it, but a lot of it, the stuff had to be developed, right? And the disciplines, especially. So, and these are people that have strong commitment to personal and professional growth. Okay, so these are the ones that you want to lead you for sure. And there's so much more. Obviously, the fifth level is a combination, but leaders build strong teams by developing future leaders. And Chris and I have been at this for 20, well, Chris, 28 years. I say 26, me maybe even going on 27. But this is where we spent a lot of our focus. It's not easy, you guys. This is not easy because you're dealing with many different personality types. But if you build number two, and that's the trust within the permission, when that is strengthened, it's easier to help move people into that development phase. Okay, so that's why these are all really, really, really important, and they focus on investing in people and their potential. They see the best in their people that the people don't even know they have. And I perfect example, Chris. I mean, when I got started, I was just signing a bunch of people in this industry, and I had no idea, leadership, and I was just doing the work. And then the leader contacted and called me the Taminator, and that meant the world to me. Just that phone call, that he actually recognized me and saw that I was making some efforts, and at that point, I was really driven to help other people and to grow personally in this industry. So it's so important to develop yourself and help develop other people.
So, and that brings us to leadership level 5. I believe it's up there. Yes. So people follow you because of who you are at this point and what you represent. That is the pinnacle. See, the characteristic here is leadership is based on respect and reputation. I want to give you some examples here. For example, we have our Telegram group, which contains everybody in the company. Okay. We're trying to support the entire company. And some of you have your own groups, right? So if you do trainings and events, you should have your own WhatsApp group or Facebook Messenger group, whatever it is that you communicate with your team. Each country has different preference with different apps to communicate with. The point is, instead of constantly promoting in a big generic group that is not necessarily your team, you should have your own WhatsApp groups to promote within your own organization.
Or Telegram, yeah.
Or Telegram, whatever that is. Yes,
Whatever,
correct.
yeah.
See, these are all things that people notice, people see. See, you want to build your team with your personals and have a group with all your personals in there so you can mentor your personals and not trying to mentor everybody that are not necessarily in your binary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And often what happens is people do that because they want to build a relationship with everyone. In case this doesn't work, they can come with me in whatever other deal I'm going into. People are aware of all these things. So be mindful of all the things you do because people see beyond what you may think they see. And that's what level leadership 5 is, right? So leaders have a legacy of excellence and influence. there's a deep, enduring impact on their organization and the industry as a whole. The leader are often seen as source of inspiration and even as a role model, right? The focus is on the legacy and lasting impact. This is the graduation to become an ultimate leader. But you can't be a leader 5, as Tammy mentioned earlier, and I referenced it also, without have mastered leadership 4 by helping others become who they want to become. Leadership level 3 by, first of all, you producing and getting your own results and not just piggybacking on other results, but your results. And then number 2 is you need permission so people can recognize you for who you are, because they appreciate you as a leader, because you're not imposing, you're more empathetic, but in the same time, you have guidelines, you have principles. But in the same token, you also recognize that you are a leader, position level 1. So this is a book that we highly recommend for you to follow up on. So, and by the way, we welcome your feedback and comments, anything like this, folks. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Robert. It's really awesome, Blakely, for your comments on our training here today. Really appreciate that. And I know many of you might have said a few things, but maybe I didn't say it.
Yeah,
So-
his last
so-
comment, Chris, there, make sure your team has a way to stay close to the fire. And that's the key. When people are on fire and they're excited and they know exactly what the next step that they need to do, that's why it's so important to focus on your teams. Now that
So
we've
let's,
all seen the comp plan, we see the graph, right? The grid. So you know exactly what you need to do within your organization and stay focused on that. Do special trainings and skill trainings and people development within your organization and watch this flourish.
So here's what we have here, Tammy. Sorry for cutting in because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
There's something really, really important here that I want to share. There is a link that you have that I would like for every single one of you to tapping into. And this is really designed to is a self-assessment. And I'd like for you to click the most appropriate radio button that you see there that applies to you, and then submit the form. So if you can do this right now, I know there's about a 15-second delay here as we're doing this. So it's really important. And as I'm doing that, fill in the form. I'll come back to it in a second. But the takeaway here, folks, is leadership is a journey. Each level builds upon the previous one and requires growth in skills, relationship, and influence, right? The influence increases at each levels. And that's what I was telling you earlier. And you have to continuously develop yourself, constantly evolving. Very, very important, because as you evolve, you will attract different kind of people that matches the level you're at. And eventually, some of those people might be higher than you are. And if you don't measure up, you may not be in a position to give them what they need for them to stick around. This is why this is so important. So you have to develop the mindset, right? So again, the key points is embrace continuous learning and self-improvement. Cultivate resilience and positive attitude. It's very important that you don't always dump on people when things don't go well. You need to keep a positive attitude when things are not necessarily going well for you. If things are not going well for you and you dump to your downline that this is not happening, that's not working, this is not fixed, blah, blah, blah. What's happening is that you are becoming a cancer and you're infecting your entire organization with this cancer. And maybe a week or a month later, everything goes well, everything is handy-dory, but the cancer has spread. And now some of the members' organs are falling because the cancer has been spreading. So another thing is practice empathy, emotional intelligence. Be aware of what you say and the words you use when you talk to people, because I assure you, it will have an impact. So let's go back to that form here. Let me just see what it looks like. I'm going to check the results on the responses. Let me share that screen with all of you here.
If you've done it, just put a message in the chat, done, just so we know that people are following.
Okay. So right now, if you look, I have 6 responses.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we have 66 people this morning. Okay, now we have 7. Okay, folks, take the time. Take the time. Please do take the time. Okay, now we're moving up. Excellent. Look what's going on right now in real time. You can see here the decisions that are being made. Now, I should have waited to show you the response because I don't want to influence you, but I wanted to show you the reality in life. We have 9 people out of 66 that are participating. What does that tell you as a leader? Well, what's happening here is that within an organization, there will always be a small percentage of people that will actually take action, right? And that's, you need to accept that that is the way it is. But if you stay the course and you keep showing up and you keep reminding people the importance of taking action, look what's happening. We went from 9 to 11. Now we're 12. Folks, I am literally showing you in real time an example of leadership. Encourage people to participate. Encourage people to stay the course. If you sign them up and got back up and you leave and you walk away and you think, well, okay, their software is installed, I'm done with them, let's move on to next. What's going to happen is you're going to have a lack of response. So the difference between a very successful people and got back up and the rest are the people that are constantly creating an environment, what we call an ecosystem, for people to take action. You notice the response are climbing? And congratulations for doing this, folks. I really, really do appreciate that. Really do. And I noticed here that Didi, Lou, Paul, Kelly, Robert, Mary, James, Terry, Donna, Everton, Christina, Fulera, Kim. Awesome. I appreciate you. Okay. And then what's happening is the rest of you are coming. This is how this business works. You are witnessing in real time how you motivate an organization and a team to take action to do things that are so important for them. So if we look at 50%, provide guidance, but allow my team members to make their own decision. 50% have selected. What does that tell you? And again, there's no right or wrong answer here, folks. What kind of leader do you want to become? So that was the question. When I make a decision, right? The second one is in a team setting, I'm most likely to, well, it's kind of balanced over here. 44% facilitate discussion and encourage everyone to contribute. That is brilliant. Offer support and resources to help team members to succeed. Both are right. And a balance with all of those things will definitely impact your business. Now, I wish we had more like 40 or 50 or 60 responses, because now you would really see what the general public thinks. But I think we have a good amount of responses here. Okay. So the last one is I'm in a team setting, I'm most likely to 42. Oh, sorry, where are we here? Okay, in a team setting, I'm most likely to, now we have 20 responses, 40% will say facilitate discussion and encourage everyone to contribute and offer support. And so you can see here that these are pretty strong. Okay, now ensure that relationship and team course are maintained. Absolutely agree with that too. 100%. And of course, maybe some of you had the choice to have multiple selection. You probably select a few of them, and I totally agree. But I wanted you to select one so we can have a real measure on what is the most important to you at the moment, right? In a team setting, let me go back down here. We just did one. When giving feedback, right? I'm direct and to the point, emphasize what needs to be fixed, or provide constructive feedback and listen to my team perspective. So leadership level 2 is exactly what provide constructive feedback, which is in red. 90.9% said that. So again, folks, it's not a right or wrong answer here. What you need to understand is what are the most characteristics that will get your team to move forward. So we spent a lot of time on this, and thank you very much for all of you that participated. And I know there's always a bit of a delay here, and feel free to continue long after this webinar. I will put that link into the feedback on the comments on this video, so you can continue, and this can grow over time. And then you can click on the link and see the responses. So what's really important here, folks, as we keep moving forward,
Is
is
developing a leader mindset. We all have to work on ourselves, embracing continuous learning and self-improvement. People follow people based on the five levels that we were talking about. But when they see you productive and leading, and people get more excited when they see that within their leader. So the key is to become that person, right? And cultivate resilience. Oh my gosh, that is a huge one. And at best, do the best you can to have a positive attitude. It's not easy in today's world. You got to block out so much. I love that song. I'm always using that in my posts. No negativity, because you don't want that around you, right? You want to create that environment around you that is going to move forward. That is a growing environment. Everybody bringing something productive to the overall team. Everybody's celebrating each other's steps and growth and successes and ranks. And it's to practice empathy and emotional intelligence, as Chris mentioned earlier, because not everybody is going to develop at the level that you may be developing, and you want to love everybody where they're at. Everybody's got different situations in their household or their environment or their workplace, and this is most likely a part-time thing for them at the beginning. So always just love everybody, you guys, and do your best to say positive things about them, and and encourage them.
I
Okay,
totally agree. And
that's
thank you,
really
Lou, for
important.
sharing this. Yeah, absolutely great. And this is brilliant, Lou. Here's an example where you're in an age group of 79 and you're still out there, still evolving, still growing. And this is the thing. You see, we never stop learning. We never stop evolving, right? As long as we're breathing air, we want to continue. It's not that we have to. We recommend for you to keep evolving, to keep adapting. So there was segment one, folks. So it was kind of a big segment, and it's such an important segment. Now there's three segments that we want to cover. Now we're going to do segment two. It's not going to be as intense, but as important. And segment two is effective communication, right? Number one. So tell me, I'll do number one, you do number two. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So active listening skills. This is really, really important. Pay full attention to the person you speak to. So when you share something, whatever it is that you share with them, don't start looking at your cell phone and your text messages and your whatever social media responses or whatever is going on. Turn your phone upside down, put it in your back pocket, put it away, turn it up, whatever. Focus 100% on listening to what that person is telling you. Really important. It's going to build a relationship. It's building the respect in front of your peers and so forth. Really important. And it's very important. You may be sharing something that really matters to them. And what you say could have an amazing impact on what direction they may choose to take from that point on. Show that you're listening through non-verbal acknowledgement, not forward. I understand. I completely get it. I get what you're telling me. Not John C. Maxwell, Stephen Covey, and his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Sorry, something I have to dig in some books.
Love
Right?
that one.
And one of those habits is learn to understand first, then be understood. Imagine if the leaders of our world would do that. How much of a better world we'd all be into. This is so important. But forget on that, because you don't have any control over that. You have control over you. Learn to understand first. So in other words, listen and acknowledge that you understand, and then provide feedback after they are done sharing whatever it is that they share with you. If you cut them in the middle of your segment, first of all, they're not going to respect what you're going to say. They're not going to listen to what you're going to say because you didn't give them a chance to finish their thoughts. Learn to understand first, then be understood. And I'm telling you that once you've done that, the other person will stay quiet because they understood and acknowledged that you gave them all the time for them to express what you need to say. Now it's your turn. And sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to do. But as an expression I used to that was mentioned to me as I was evolving in my early years is when something gets to you, for example, bite your lips till it bleeds. Don't say a word, even though you're dying to say. Bite your lip till it bleeds. Let them finish. That the results, the outcome of your conversation will be night and day. So this is the active listening skill. Back to you, Tammy, on the nonverbal.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to practice that for sure. Nonverbal communication. This one is so important. You know, people read people so easily, and body language, posture, gestures, facial expressions, people can read it. You can even read a lot of this actually when you're on a call as well. Obviously, you can see it when you're in front of them, whether it's Zoom or in person. You know, the eye contact shows confidence and interest in people. When you're looking around, people see you distracted. They think that they're not important enough for you. And so these are really, really important gestures. And of course, the tone of your voice. It also conveys emotions and attitudes, right? So it's to work on that. You need to be totally immersed in conversations with the person that you're in front of. No distractions whatsoever. They are the most important person in front of you, whether you're training somebody, whether you're like if you're training somebody and the phone rings, I mean, sometimes there's something urgent and that happens, but in general, that phone's got to be put aside because you need to be focusing on the person in front of you. Prospecting, same thing. You know, a prospect needs to know that they're important to you. They need to know that you're going to be there for them. If they sign up, they need to know that you're going to be there for them. Do you know when people they sign up and they quit and they go on to another deal and all the people have had terrible experiences in this industry? And the key is to make the people feel the most important and stick to it and keep doing it and keep doing it. That's how you succeed in this industry, not being a jumper. Not being a jumper. People are not interested in following jumpers. They may follow them a couple times, but they're gone after. You lose credibility, you lose all of this. Got back up is a huge opportunity to succeed and help other people along the way. So these nonverbal communication skills are very important in building a business.
I totally agree, Tammy. In fact, Solomon talked about here the most characteristic that will make your team turn. Let's see, so self improvement. People follow people with resilience. This is so true. You see, people respect, especially if you come from a challenging background or you've worked your butts off and you just stayed the course and you keep showing up. People notice these things and they admire that. People really admire that. This is a very good comment. I appreciate that. Now, number 3 is influence in persuading others strategy. So how does that work? Well, first of all, is build rapport and trust. Which leadership, feel free to post in the comments, which leadership level does that apply the most, right? Build rapport and trust from the leadership that we shared with you. So feel free to post it as I keep moving forward. Okay, which I'll come back and I'll give you the answer in a minute. Use facts and data to support your arguments, right? Instead of arguing about something, use the facts, use the data. The numbers are there in some cases. We got backup in what we're doing and what's happening, right? Where we're expanding around the world, the growth that's going on right now. Use facts and data to support your argument as to why this is an opportunity you should consider, right? Appeal to emotion and value, right? So it's important that you are empathetic and that you can, there's an emotional response, and again, use that with a common sense here, and provide value. as you are contributing to the conversation. And here's something that's really, really important: be clear and concise in your messaging. Often the message is unclear, sometimes interpreted in a different way based on their background or their beliefs. And what you have in your mind, it is completely not what they have. And maybe both of you are arguing on something because you both have a misunderstanding of what you're both trying to communicate. Be very clear and concise. That I cannot stress this enough. These are all the things, again, if a world leader would embrace, it'd be a better world. Be clear and concise, not dark and hidden messages and hidden agendas and none of that stuff. Straightforward. People will respect that. So, to answer the question, build rapport and trust, what level of leadership is that? Sherry, you're absolutely correct. It is number 2, leadership level 2. That level is the basic foundation to great leadership. If you master leadership level 2, I'm telling you that 3, 4, and 5, but 3, obviously, you have to be actively doing things for sure. 4 is you have to take the time to support and duplicate and help. And 5 is a combination of all 4, really. That's what's going on. So thank you, Sherry, for taking the time to answer that. So this is a segment 2 on effective communication. Really, 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 really important thing. So let's see here.
The final segment here is segment number 3 is building and leading teams.
Yeah.
And so characteristics of high performing teams. They have clear goals, you guys. They know their role. They have clear goals. Everybody, we all have the graph in front of us. We all have the 4 benchmarks in front of us. And it's up to us to achieve the 4 benchmarks so we can guide others to do the same thing. Maybe you're brand new and you just signed up your first 2 people within your first week, and you're fairly new, but you did the copper. So you can guide people to reach their coppers, right? So it's all about creating performance and setting targets with your team members. Find out why they want to do these things, because everybody hits a wall sometimes, and sometimes people get discouraged. So they need to be reminded of why they want to do these steps, why they want to achieve. It's not about the money, you guys. There's always an underline of why people want to achieve something in life. Strong communication and collaboration. That's got to be embedded deep within the culture of your team. Trust and mutual respect. Absolutely huge. Commitment to success and accountability. It's important to create steps for the team members. I highly recommend after this session, if you have 1, 2, or more team members, create a group. You need to have a group. And I know some of you have already done this. Some of you on this session are great leaders, and we know a lot of the leaders who are showing up. And so from there, even if you have a leader, just so you know, even if you have a leader who brought you in and you brought a couple people in, develop the group for you to lead your team members, because you need to be that leader to those people. And the upline will be that support within the group as needed. Okay, it's not your sponsor's job to lead your people. Okay, it's your job to lead people that you bring into the business. And start with the small steps, the 4 benchmarks, and that's going to help develop people into different levels. And invite everybody to always promote the Wednesday night sessions, the team trainings, the team opportunity presentations, the company opportunity presentations, the company trainings. Plug people in. And that is effective communication. It's high. You'll get high performing members when people are plugged in.
I totally agree. So at the end of the day, folks, what's important here is maintaining unity within a team. Where there's people, there will always be personality differences. And sometimes personality differences without proper mentoring and proper leadership could turn into a disaster. And a team that has the potential to become a massive productive team could implode. Tammy and I have witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah.
And as we evolved in understanding the importance of all these levels of leadership, we've been able to really help. So address conflicts early and openly, but be careful. Use the word openly lightly. What I mean by that is if there's an issue that's happening in the team, don't isolate that person and humiliate that person in front of the entire team. This is not how you're going to solve a problem. It's like putting gas in a fire or oil in the, you're just going to make it worse. What you want to do is bring that person aside and have a conversation openly about the situation to address the conflict. Do not take sides. This will not serve you well. Think of it as your children. You do not take sides with your children. We're all in equal play, or all in equal playing field. But you listen, understand first, then speak. That these are, you see how intertwined all of these elements are? Well, they all contribute in creating a very successful organization. And the bigger your team gets, the more problems will present itself. And if your leadership is not at the level to be able to handle this situation, unfortunately, instead of solving them, you may aggravate the problem, which will start imploding an organization and creating legs that has cancer that will eventually die out. I understand. I hope you understand my meaning here. It's one of the reasons why Tammy and I have had such a blessing with our organization is we've been working on ourselves for decades on handling these situations. And we want to transcend that to you. Those of you that are here listening to that are still here, you are acquiring some extremely important information that people spend tens of thousands of dollars a month to learn from other mentors. I'm not kidding.
Mhm.
These are the things. Listen to all perspective and find a common ground. There's always a reason why someone feels a certain way, and they may have a very justifiable reason as to why they feel that way. Understand what's going on so we can solve the problem. But you need to understand and then find a common ground. How can we solve this? How can we make it better for you and maybe that other situation that may be occurring? Right. I know, Tommy, there's some comments here, but as I'm sharing, feel free to post the way you see.
Yeah, I just want to add something. Sometimes, if you're not in the mood, sometimes you have to step away a little bit too, and you gain some perspective, because sometimes people, they're tired, right? And then a situation happens. Rather than responding right away, I recommend sometimes you have to step back and schedule something that you're going to have a conversation with them. Sometimes things have to be done immediately, but it's all a judgment call, eh? And Chris and I have been doing this for so long that we learn to read body languages. We learn what is really urgent, and how to communicate and listen, understand first where the person is at and why are they feeling this way, and maybe something was said and they took it to another level where, maybe if it was you having that conversation with them, didn't mean it that way, and then things have to be resolved. But understand always from the other person's perspective that is having the challenge or doing something in the environment that's not healthy, and never point people out in front of people. Never, 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 never. Always set up a coffee chat, or if you're distance, a Zoom chat or a conversation on the phone. Very, very, very important. The
So,
key is to build healthy relationships, happy, healthy relationships with your
so,
organization.
all right.
It's like your family, right?
Yeah, sorry, Tammy. I just want to finish that thought. You're
Yeah,
absolutely correct, right? So the point here is, and again, find a common ground. So you want to develop a win-win solution,
always.
and sometimes you may have to compromise when necessary. It might be okay. Sometimes it's okay to let go, right? Sometimes, like Tammy and I, where we live in a condo, it's very tight. I don't know if you've ever been into underground parking in Toronto. I don't know why they make their parking so damn tight. But the point here is you see some people that are determined to pass, right? Even though you have the right of way, it doesn't matter. In their mind, that's their right. And if both of you, for I'm supposed to be there, and the other guy, well, I want to pass me. The problem, and you see a lot of that in driving, especially with there's a lot of big cities with traffic. It's okay. Compromise. Let him pass. Let him do its thing.
Yeah.
It's okay. You become the better person. You step down and let them do what they have to do. And eventually what happens is things will fall into place. It's critical. Compromising is an important attribute, really important. Even sometime if your ego might be bruised a little bit about it, right? And use structured problem solving methods, right? Brainstorm. What's the root cause of all these things? That's how we resolve problems, and that's how we grow in teams. So, in the last 4 minutes here, as we finish this session, folks, as we wrap up, see, the key points that we covered here today, number one is leadership level and developing the leadership mindset. I cannot stress this enough. Really, really, really important. The second point we talk about is important of an effective communication, active listening, and non-verbal clues and kind of ways so people acknowledge, understand that you get it. And the number three is build high-performing team and resolving conflict effectively. Conflicts is part of living. It's part of growing. It's part of being a human being. And how you handle yourself around conflict will determine the outcome of your business, which will determine the outcome of your future. So become that leader. We need peacemakers. We need people that are willing to even compromise for the greater good of this entire organization. Stay the course. Don't give up. Keep showing up. And if nobody's giving you any recognition, become become your own fan club. Acknowledge who you are. And don't wait for external motivation, but you need to find it within. And if you keep showing up, eventually the results will reflect. And that falls into the leadership level 3, and people will recognize you for that. You don't have to chase the recognition. The recognition will come to you as you deliver. I cannot stress this enough.
Serve. Yes.
So that's how you build a high performance team. So, Tammy, why don't we go to the next step here, and on some encouraging participant to reflect on sessions, and so I'm going to turn that over to you, and let's end the call on this note.
Yeah. So, which part, Chris, you want me to do? The recap?
Yeah, it's more like the encouragement, participating, the reflections. Kind of think about what it is that we just talked about here, and start
Okay.
applying it. Buy the book, the 5 levels of leadership. 7 habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey. We didn't mention in the beginning, but that's another big one. And I'm sure most of you are aware of this. Phenomenal book. And there's so many more. What other things, Tammy, you would recommend for them to follow through after this session?
Yeah, we've shared many things through the training, so it's more of that recap. But if you show up, number one is show up. Wednesday night opportunities. I know that some time zones don't allow it. Always watch the replay, because there's always something that Joel is going to say that you can embed into your own communication, or an upgrade, whatever's happening. Chris and I don't miss that. And this is what leaders do, you guys. We always know what's going on, because we make sure we know, so that we can share within the organization, or Chris and I will share it on Friday when we do our opportunity presentations. And another thing is start learning the presentation. Not don't just show up and learn. Show up and learn so that you can present, so that you can lead and start doing presentations and start inviting your own guests to, because at the end of the day, people buy us. People that you're connecting to, they buy into you. So it's like developing all this, right? And make sure that your teams are moving forward. Make sure that they have their phone set up, all their devices set up, and that they got the 4 benchmarks. That's key. And once they all do this, guess what? They can start helping their brand new people. The key is to build a culture of duplication and leading. And if you do that, you're going to go up the ranks with no stress. I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, but it's all about duplication. Duplicate leadership within your organization and watch it fly. We've seen this over and over and over for the ones who led very well, following the basic principles, and the ones who did not lead are generally not around anymore. So, yeah, that's my final uh, contribution.
So listen, folks, we want to thank you for attending this training. I'm really, really grateful that you guys were here. And again, take this to heart. If you like the training, folks, put some comments and feedback. Let us know what you think. Obviously, we've seen all your wonderful feedback, and thank you for
Put a
all
thumbs
the
up on the
wonderful.
YouTube.
Yeah, put a thumbs up. And you know what? It's just more people will be exposed to this information, folks. We really, really want to help you grow. I'm telling you, folks, there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to hit the black diamond. Absolutely no doubt. It's just a question of time now.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact is, we can't go there alone. You need to succeed. We want this company to be here for the long term so we can retire one day. This company has to be in the billions of dollars in sales. If we help more people succeed, regardless if you're in the team or not, we're all part of the team because all the commissions are impacted by percentage. So if the company does better as a whole, everybody does better. So understand, folks, even though some people may be in different teams, as we may be in different teams than you are, understand that we're all part of the same team. It's called God Backup. Stay the course. Keep moving forward. Keep showing up. Don't let the small mind get you out of the game that can completely transform your life. So have yourself a great rest of your weekend. Remember, Wednesday night, we have the presentation with Joel. And I know we have other presenters that are presenting. You can find them on a Telegram group. And remember, folks, that if you're in the Telegram promoting some of your events, make sure that you have your own groups to promote within your own personals. Because if you train everybody all the time, but you don't have any personals in there, your income will not evolve. Just remember that and keep that in mind. So have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.